Hello and welcome to another Innit Apparel video. Today we'll be going over everything you need to set up your brand new clothing brand and get it up and running. This video will be split up into different sections, so feel free to check the timestamp in the description down below. So let's get right into it. Now, why do we call it a foundation? So when you build a house, you don't start by buying furniture or doing the garden or anything. You start by laying down the foundation. And it's exactly the same for your clothing brand. So what does the foundation of a clothing brand look like? Well, it's split up into 4 main components, and we'll go over each of them in their own section. But these 4 sections will be your concept, your website, your product, and your social presence. Now, part 1, your concept. The concept is a really important thing to have down, and it's going to play into all the other aspects of your foundation, so this is a great place to start. Your concept is essentially the reason why your clothing brand exists. Now, you might already have a clear idea of what you want your clothing brand to be, but putting this down on paper is going to be a massive help. It'll be a great tool to make sure that your brand doesn't lose direction, and you can constantly go back and refer to it or refine it as much as you want. Now, your concept will also play a very big role in defining what your target market is. And if you don't know how to search for your target market, we have another video for that linked down in the description. Now, a good way to write out your concept is by splitting it into 2 parts, which should be a vision script for how you want things to go in the next year, and then supplement this by writing a short elevator pitch, which could be about 1 or 2 sentences long, but it should capture the essence of your brand. Now, part 2 will be your website. In the absence of a physical store, your website is essentially your brand's headquarters. Therefore, you'll need your website to be professional, easy to use, and embody the essence of your brand on every single page. Now, there are a ton of website building tools and hosting services that make it super easy for someone with no experience and no coding to make a beautiful, professional, easy to use website. 2 of the first ones that come to mind would be Squarespace or Shopify. Now, Shopify is great because it's dedicated to running an online store, and it also has amazing integration with a bunch of other apps and services and websites. Now, moving on to part 3, your product. Now, of course, if you want to be a brand that sells things, you need to have things to sell. Now, ensuring that your product is of high quality and is something that your target market will want to buy is, of course, a very big priority for any clothing brand starting out. So before settling on any kind of product, we highly recommend you shop around for some different suppliers, make samples, take those samples and talk to your friends and your family, make sure the fit of the shirt is good, make sure the print is good, wash it a couple of times to see how the print reacts to being washed. You'll want to make sure that all your bases are covered before you start asking people money for these products. So be sure to sample and check around for different suppliers. A lot of brands try to do too much too quickly and launch with like 15 different garments or products, but you really don't have to. From our experience, it's far better to start with one really good product that you know will sell and then scale up from there. Also, be careful when choosing your supplier. You'll want to make sure that the quality is at the level you're expecting, and that the cost will still leave room for you to make a reasonable profit at the price that your target market will be willing to buy it for. Consistency is also key, so if someone buys a shirt from you now, and then they buy a shirt from you 4 months later and it's completely different quality and it's completely different fit and everything, well, that person will lose trust in your brand. So consistency is key, so once you find a good supplier where you're happy with the quality and happy with the print and everything, be sure to build a good working relationship with them. This is going to be vital for the longevity of your brand. Now, part 4 will be your social media presence. I'm sure you already know this, but no one's going to buy a product that they don't even know exists. We've already done a couple of videos going in depth on this topic, and you can find those in the description down below. However, some key points to remember is that your social media is not to just push products down people's faces. If every single post is a photo of a shirt with a price and a link to go buy it, people are going to get very annoyed and very tired of that very quickly. You need to use your social media to add value to your brand. The fact is that people don't buy clothing out of necessity anymore. They buy clothing as an accessory. So you have to find a reason for people to buy your clothes instead of someone else's. Now with all 4 of these things in place, your foundation is complete. Now that doesn't mean that you're done and it's just going to be smooth sailing from here on out. Now you'll need to constantly come back and tweak and change these things until you find the formula that works for your brand. Now don't get demotivated if you've set all this up and customers don't come flooding in immediately. Just take a deep breath, go back to the start and adapt based on what you've learned. If you keep going through that process, you will eventually find the winning formula and you will have learned so much about what makes your brand tick. Now, as always, we make these videos for you. So please leave us a suggestion down in the comments below of something you'd like to learn more about. We can go more in depth on photography. We can go more in depth on the manufacturing process. Whatever you guys need, we're here for you. So please leave us a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more like this in future. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave us a comment. We will answer each and every one. Thank you so much for watching.